I hear that song. I
Let's
feel like
just stand
my
up and dance for me, Ariel.
ay, 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 mi amor. Where are we?
Dance for me, Ariel. Ariel Helwani did one of the most sycophantic, embarrassing, pathetic, fanboy glaze interviews of Ilia Topuria that I have ever seen, where he desperately tried to push the narrative that Islam Makhachev ducked Ilia Topuria, and it blew up in his face in spectacular fashion. And we're going to check it out in this video because it was absolutely hysterical. But I sat through this entire interview, and this is the level of fanboy that Ariel Helwani is for Ilia Topuria. Stand up and dance for me, Ariel. Bust a move for me, Ariel. Shake that ass for me, Ariel. And Ariel says, yes, sir.
I hear that song. I
Let's
feel like
just stand
my
up and dance for me, Ariel.
ay, 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 mi amor. Where are we with?
I don't even know what to say about that, but I had to include that in this video. By the way, guys, if you enjoyed these types of videos, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's jump right into it because we have a lot to check out here. Okay. We're going to jump right to Ariel Helwani comparing and contrasting Islam Makhachev and Jon Jones like it's even remotely close to the same situation. He frames it in a way to get Ilia Topuria to shit on Islam Makhachev and call Islam Makhachev a duck, and Ilia Topuria completely shuts him down, and it was amazing to watch. This is the very beginning of the interview. We're at a 1:05 timestamp. By the way, if you care to check out this entire interview, I will link it down in the description. We're at a 1:05 timestamp here. Listen to this.
Muchas gracias. Can I ask you, before we get it, because I just went through a whole thing about Jones and Aspinall, and I said I feel there's some similarities between you and Islam, where one guy doesn't want to fight the other. You understand? When you see it, do you see it?
Not at all.
No,
Not
no?
at all.
Not at all. Ariel's heartbroken. How is there similarities between Islam and Jones? First off, I think Ariel has the wrong take on both situations. But Jon Jones holding up the division while being aided and abetted by the UFC for literally almost a year, if not longer, depending on where you want to start counting the clock, after the Stipe fight or after the Gane fight. How is that even remotely similar to Islam moving up a weight class for double champ status a couple months after he defended his title because he's chasing a tougher matchup? I don't know how that in any way, shape, or form is even close to what's going on at lightweight. But let's listen to Ilia talk about Jones for a second, because this also broke Ariel's heart as well, because he's got a massive hard-on for Tom Aspinall. Listen to this.
Tell me.
You can't even compare that situation. You can't compare like Jon Jones with Islam, you know what I mean? Jon has done so many great things in the sport. He fought the best of the best in the last 10 years. So I don't think he's stucking anyone. You know, he just wants to retire. He's tired maybe of the game or whatever, and he wants to retire. I don't think he's stucking in anyone, because you can find a guy always that no, he's the next one, he's the next one, he's the next one. Even if he beats Tom Aspinall, there's gonna be someone new.
So, regardless of what you think about Ilia's take on Jon Jones, the ending of that is 100% accurate. No matter when Jones retires, there's always going to be the next guy. You know, there was talk of Sergey Pavlovich before Tom Aspinall beat him as the guy to beat Jon Jones. Now, they stalled on the division for a long time. Jon Jones and the UFC really embarrassed themselves by stalling out the division, and it was really horrible the way they did it, and then ultimately he ends up retiring, which looks very poorly, but it's not even close to the Islam Makhachev, Ilia Topuria, Jack Della Maddalena situation, where Islam was actively defending his belt. Ilia decides he's moving up, and Islam decides he's moving up to fight for double champ status in a tougher fight against Jack Della Maddalena. How is that even remotely close to the same situation? And just to compare it real quick, and Ariel talks about this again after Ilia leaves the interview, which we're going to check out that clip as well. But here's a quick clip of Ariel's thoughts on Jon Jones, and he thinks the same thing about Islam Makhachev. I mean, seriously, give me a break.
Part of a reality show, if you want to take that money and delay things and hold someone else's dreams back from becoming a reality, that is ducking. That is ducking, because there is a time-honored tradition in this business, in the sport, in combat sports, in fight sports, in sports period, that the whole thing has to move along. It's not about your story. Your story is great, and you're living your best life, great. Get rid of that belt. If you want to do that, great. No one will begrudge you. Everyone thinks you've done enough. You've earned enough. You've proven enough. Now allow someone else to have that same story. Allow someone else to write that same story. You are holding him back. You are holding back not only Tom Aspinall, but the rest of the division.
So who did Islam hold back? Who did Islam duck? He didn't hold back anyone, because he relinquished his belt the second he decided he was going up, regardless if you think the UFC had a hand in that or not. But who did he hold back? How did he duck Ilia to go up and fight a tougher challenge? And also, I could make an entire video, and I may one day, about the people talking about the integrity of the heavyweight division when it comes to the Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall situation. But they didn't bitch and moan and cry about it when Magomed Ankalaev was being overlooked and ducked by Alex Pereira when he was on a 13-fight unbeaten streak. They didn't have the same level of outrage when Colby Covington jumped over Bilal to get a title shot against Leon Edwards. Ariel himself even campaigned for Conor McGregor to get a welterweight title shot last year in 2024. How pathetic and embarrassing is that? Meanwhile, now they care about the integrity of the sport, the integrity of the heavyweight division. I could make an entire another video on that. So that's how he feels about Jones. And he's comparing Jones and Islam. And he thinks he has Topuria here because Topuria just defended Jon Jones, which Ariel didn't like, but Ariel thinks, oh, I got him here. Well, what about Islam? What about Islam, Ilia? He moved up. He didn't fight you. Wasn't he ducking you? He thinks, oh, well, Ilia's going to have to agree with me here. And it backfired in Ariel's face so spectacularly, he went home and cried. He dropped to his knees in a supermarket later that night, thinking about it, and just screamed. And by the way, we have a clip from an Islam Makhachev recent interview with MMA Junkie that we're going to take a look at in this video as well, which debunks Ariel's entire dumb-ass narrative that made no sense to begin with. But listen to this.
Okay, fair. Then can I ask you, is Islam ducking you?
I think he's doing his things. I don't think he's ducking me, to be honest. I will be lying to you if I tell you that he's ducking me. I think he's tired of the weight cut. He wants a new challenge. He moved to the welterweight division. He feels and he thinks that he has a chance to become a double champion. And I think that this is all he's trying to do.
If
Ariel is literally heartbroken. What Ilia Topuria just said there is facts. He thinks he wants to go get a double champ status, just like I wanted to. But Ariel thinks Islam is ducking. Ariel has been pushing the narrative that Islam is ducking. He's been pushing it since the news was announced. This was Ariel live after Islam. It was announced that Islam was moving up and Ilia Topuria was fighting Charles Oliveira at UFC 317 International Fight Week. This was Ariel's live reaction. And I actually covered this in another video. He got checked by his backdoor boys. And this was beautiful to watch as well. So let's check this out.
I will also say, Islam not fighting Ilia and choosing to move up and doing so vacates his title is not the same as Ilia moving on from 145 to move up. And for that, allow me to explain.
So what he's trying to say here, first off, what he said there is facts. Islam moving up is not the same as Ilia moving up because Islam deserved the opportunity to move up because he defended his belt 4 times versus 1 title defense. But what Ariel is trying to frame here is that Islam ran away from the bigger fight in Ilia Topuria because he didn't like the style matchup. Meanwhile, he's fighting a tougher challenge in Jack Della Maddalena. This entire narrative makes no sense, but this is what he thinks about Islam, and this is what he desperately wanted Ilia to push in that interview. Listen to this.
Number one, you cannot compare Diego Lopez or Movsar Evloev to Ilia Topuria, meaning Ilia had those guys waiting in the wings. Islam had Ilia waiting in the wings. This is a gigantic fight. These are just 2 other fights, just and lesser.
It's crazy the mental gymnastics people were jumping through to say Islam ducked Topuria but Topuria didn't duck any of the long list of contenders at featherweight. Now, I don't believe either one of them ducked anyone, but the whole entire narrative made no sense. But here is Ariel trying to push Islam ran away from Ilia because he was scared of Ilia. That's what he's trying to say here, and he gets checked badly.
Fights in terms of stature than the ones he just had, which is Volk and Max Holloway. He has been complaining about weight cutting. Him, not as much. All right, no one wants to weight cut anymore. He's done the job. Fine. You move up to 170. No big deal. This fight here, meaning Islam Ilia, is one of the most lucrative fights in the UFC. It is not as big as Islam versus JDM.
He misspoke there. He's saying that Islam Ilia is bigger than Islam JDM. That's what he's saying there, just for clarification.
So you're leaving like this crater on the table. You're walking away from this, and this guy over here is just like, you know what I mean? This guy's trying to get that crater. He's trying to walk towards it, and you're walking away from it. Do you understand the point that I'm trying to make? So I see some people saying like, oh, well, if you're going to say that, to Ilia, like if you're going to say to his tweet there, if you're going to say that Islam ducked you, you ducked these guys. It's not the same. He walked away from the belt to fight the number one contender. Now, this guy's walking away from 155 to fight the new champ who's incredible, who's on an 18-fight winning streak. But
you're acting like it's not a tougher challenge. You're acting like he ran away from Ilia Topuria, the big money fight. Like it's going to be some huge pay-per-view blockbuster fight, which it's a big fight, don't get me wrong, but so is Islam JDM, is a massive fight.
I don't think that the two scenarios are the same. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
No.
You don't get what I'm saying? You weren't.
Look, he's devastated. He's because his argument makes no fucking sense.
Listening. GC, do you get what I'm saying?
I understand your point, but I don't think that Islam is ducking here.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying the two guys vacated their title.
That's what he's saying, by the way. He thinks Jon Jones ducked Tom Aspinall, which, okay, I understand that narrative. And you're comparing Jones to Islam, which makes absolutely no sense. But again, we're going to finish this out because I want to go back to the more recent interview with Ilia.
Yeah.
The circumstances surrounding those two vacating
are different.
They're not the same, because I'm seeing people say to Ilia, if you're saying that Islam ducked you, then you ducked Movsar. It's not the same. He's walking away from a whatever fight to try to fight the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. This guy's walking away from this mega fight to go up to 170.
But he's going for his mega fight. It's for Ilia.
I'm just talking
Islam
about
is
the
the
money.
big prize. For Islam, that
Ariel, contrary to popular belief, every person in the world's not just about money. Also, Islam versus JDM is still a mega fight. Okay? I don't know. He's acting as if Islam or Topuria is some mega superstar that's going to sell Conor McGregor level pay-per-views, which is just not going to happen, which is just a stupid narrative to begin with.
that 70-pound title is the big prize. They are chasing their big prize.
We were 46 days away from one of the best fights in UFC history.
For Islam, Ilia is not the big prize. Why is Ilia the big fight for Islam? It is for Ilia, but why is that for Islam?
Because
Dead silence. Dead silence. Of course, Ariel's going to cook up a good answer, right? Man, I love this. I will never make fun of this dude ever again, if I have. I don't know that I have made fun of him before. But I absolutely love this. Well, it just exposed Ariel. And listen to Ariel's answer here.
because of who the hell.
No, he's putting his title on the line against the featherweight champ for the third time. For the third time.
Yeah, I get it.
It's not a big prize for him.
It's such a big fight. He's undefeated. He's steamrolled through all of these guys. He's one of the biggest stars in the sport, and he's only going to get bigger.
And he's got the sickest references, bro. Get off his dick. I mean, seriously, get off of his dick, Ariel. Because of who the hell Ilia Topuria is. Who is he? Who is he? Stop acting like he's a Conor McGregor level star. He was so butthurt because what he saw was, oh, this fight is going to draw more attention to me because Ilia will come on my show and give me an interview. But he's pushing the narrative that Islam ducked. And we'll continue. We're going to jump back to the Ilia Topuria interview. We'll continue with more here because he starts acting as if no matter what, Islam was not going to fight Topuria, is what he's trying to allude to with this next question. Listen to this.
Bilal would have beaten Jack Della Maddalena. Would you have been fighting Islam this weekend?
If I would fight him,
No, like, because what we were told was if Bilal remained welterweight champion, he would have stayed at 155
Yeah,
and he would have fought you. Do you believe
yeah,
that?
100%. He wouldn't have another option.
Ariel was hoping that Ilia was going to say, no, he would have ran from me. He would have tried to fight somebody else. That's what Ariel was hoping for. That's the narrative that Ariel was trying to push, that Islam wasn't going to fight Topuria no matter what.
So what is confusing to me is they're talking about maybe having this fight, him versus JDM in October. Why not just fight you? It's such a big fight. And then, regardless of outcome, you fight for the welterweight title in October. We were so close. We were 6 weeks away because we only found out about your fight after the JDM Bilal fight. Why didn't we just get you versus Islam? There was so much history there. And then he moves up after.
What history was there? What history is he talking about? And also, does this guy not know how time works? If he fights Topuria in late June, damn near July, October's 3 months away. You never know what could happen in camp. You never know what could happen in the fight. And then you're going to jump right back into camp to move up a weight class and fight a much bigger guy in Jack Della Maddalena. It doesn't make any sense. You just wanted it so bad that you're crying that it didn't happen, even though we're still getting some incredible fights out of it. AK Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, which is an absolute banger. But of course, Ilia shuts him down again, which is hilarious to me. Shout out to Ilia, by the way. I know he's made comments, Islam ran from me, this and that, and different stuff. But in this interview, he was very open and honest. He's like, look, if I'm going to be honest, he's not ducking me. He probably tired of the weight cut. He wanted to go up and try to become double champion. I mean, in what universe, having the option to move up, would Islam stay and fight Topuria? Why would he not rather go up for the bigger fight in Jack Della Maddalena for something that means more to his legacy, rather than fighting Ilia and then everyone diminishing his legacy as he only fought featherweights, which they already do. So it made perfect sense for him to jump up and fight JDM if that was available to him. It makes perfect sense. And Ariel was acting like, how could he possibly make this decision? Why wouldn't he just fight you first? Well, because he's got to put on weight to go up to 170 and the turnaround would be quick. Good on Ilia for shutting him down.
Because I think that not a lot of people understand how hard is the weight cut. You know, when you get tired of the weight cut, it's like there's no name in the world that motivates you to fight. There's no money in the world. It's like you just want to take care of your health. This is the reason why I switched the weight class. And
so there you go. Defends him even more. Defends him even more because Ariel is trying to act like no matter what would have happened, Islam would have never fought Topuria. And he's pushing the narrative along with a lot of fans. Hunter Campbell went out to Dagestan to beg Islam to fight. Well, Islam did an interview with MMA Junkie. And he was asked specifically about the meeting with Hunter Campbell. Listen to this. You probably haven't seen this yet. Check out this interview. This is a great interview. I will link it down in the description. We're just going to check out a few seconds of it. Listen to this.
Day 6, when Hunter Campbell or maybe Rizvan, those photos came up of Hunter Campbell there in Dagestan with you guys. What did he come there for? What did he say to you?
Honestly, everybody think he come to make fight with Topuria, but he was here. We talk about fight against who is the winner against Del Mandalena and Bilal. And he told me, hey, I know Bilal is your friend, but this is the sport. Shake hands, fight. After the fight, respect, and that's it. Just see who is the best fighter in the world.
So Hunter Campbell went to Dagestan to convince Islam to fight the winner of Bilal versus JDM, regardless of winner. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, the source is Islam. Do you really think Islam is making up false narratives? You really think he's that type of guy? I haven't seen it in the past, so I tend to believe this, and there's a little bit more to this. We'll listen to it.
And we have big discussed about that, and I told them, let's wait for the fight. When Bilal fight was Mandalena, we will see after that what we have to do.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
Because they really want, after the fight, right after the fight was in Los Angeles, Hunter come to my locker room and told me, now it's the good time. Any day when you want to move up, you have the opportunity, just tell us.
So there you go. There you go. It wasn't about begging him to fight Topuria. It appears as if Had Bilal won, it was a foregone conclusion that Islam was going to fight Topuria. But Ariel wants to push the narrative. Under no circumstances would Islam have fought Ilia Topuria. And it's just hilarious to watch Ilia completely shut him down. Last clip we're going to check out is right at the end of the interview. He leaves. Ilia leaves the interview. The interview's done. And he's like, yeah, I still believe Islam and Jon Jones are very similar situations. I mean, what a fucking dumb take that is.
It's my own little twist, okay? Very nice. And you know what? Kept it very respectful towards Islam Makhachev. All good in the hood. I will say that I think that there are some similarities, but also I know he has the same management team as Jon Jones. So, you know, I respect that he's sort of taking the high road here.
I'm literally racking my brain. What are the similarities between Islam and Jon Jones? Jon Jones sat on his title with the help from the UFC for 8 months. Islam relinquished his belt, 4 months after he last defended it. He has a record number of title defenses. He is moving up for a tougher challenge where Jon Jones retired. What are the similarities? And again, we know Ariel's take. I mean, look at the title of this video. Helwani goes off on Jon Jones for ducking Tom Aspinall. So essentially, Helwani is saying, I'm going to go off on Islam for ducking Ilia Topuria. By the way, dislike. And he really believes that Islam ducked Ilia Topuria. He has an axe to grind, it seems like, with Islam. For whatever reason that may be. But he'll be damned if he doesn't get up out of his seat. You know what? Let me go back. If he doesn't get up out of his seat and put on a little show. Put on a little show for Ilia Topuria.
I always want to dance a little salsa when I hear that song. I feel like
stand up and dance for me, Ariel.
Ay, mi amor.
Dude is shaking his ass to appease another grown man. But you could tell in that last clip I showed you before this dancing clip again, Ariel was devastated that Topuria kept it respectful with Islam. He wanted him to trash Islam. He wanted him to say Islam ran away from me. He wanted him to say, yeah, Islam and Jones are both ducks and they're both scared. And, you know, Tom Aspinall this and Islam Makhachev that. He didn't get what he wanted. It blew up in his face spectacularly. And it was absolutely hilarious to watch. And I wanted to break it down in this video as he dances awkwardly for Ilia Topuria and shakes his ass for Ilia Topuria. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and appreciate you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.